here we are, and we're speaking encouragement to people. We're here for each other, and it's wonderful. We're supposed to lift each other up. When you lift up others, do you know that you yourself get lifted? You may not do it for that purpose. I don't, but I do know that it's a byproduct of investing in others and loving each other. And that's what we do, whether it's the gathering, whether it's your incredible networking breakfast every month, the best one I've ever seen, including Oklahoma City and Dallas and Tulsa. It just doesn't get better than DJ's networking breakfast with Welcome Partner.
Thank you.
And so it's wonderful, but we need each other in these times. And if you love your family, if you love your faith, if you love your freedom, and you love business, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. If you love those things, you need to come together right now.
Mm-hmm.
And in Amarillo, there's a lot of businesses that have suffered, and businesses that have gone out of business, and it's not by accident. Okay. So it's very important that we band together and we patronize each other's businesses. I was talking to David Lovejoy and Rhonda and Chuck earlier today, and
I
something.
wasn't there though. I didn't get to
Well,
participate.
that's okay. That's okay. I was touching base with them, and I'll be touching base with you after that as what. Well, um, but you know what though, I think that it's one thing to just be another advertising source, marketing source, but it's another to actually help create crowds. Um, a radio spot is great. A TV spot is great. Even a social media ad is great. But there's nothing like coming together in person. And I have to say, not just because I'm talking to you, DJ, but direct mail, having a tactile promotional piece. Someone said the other day, I used to promote concerts, and well, we just got to get the word out. We got to get the word out about a concert. And I said, well, when's the last advertisement you saw of a concert? Oh, yesterday. I said, well, you didn't go, did you? No. Well, you saw it. That means you're going to go. No, it doesn't. But if it's far enough in advance, you just might go, and you have a better shot of still redeeming that business if you have it printed, and you can still combine QR codes and videos with printed. But DJ, I have a feeling that Welcome Partner is going to be needed now more than ever. Newspaper's gone, man. I mean, there's still people trying to do it, but something that's going to your mailbox, and it's a tactile piece. Coupons create more traffic than just another spot, another branding spot. And of course, there's marketing, branding, advertising, PR, and special events. Who's doing all that? Well, DJ, we do a lot of that. And so, anyway, I'm excited for what's on the horizon, but it's important to keep great people visible. That's people like you, DJ. That's people like Chuck and Lovejoy and Rhonda as well. And it was so much fun interviewing Ronnie Kenyon with Kenyon Sprinkler.
Mhm.
What I mean, that dude wasn't that a hoot? It was a good time there, and all that. But anyhow, what? How would you encourage people right now that are struggling in their business?
Well, you just said it a while ago about getting together because I love our clients. Our clients become family to us. And last week, and then this morning, I met with three different ones, and they're all self-employed. They're all owners or co-owners of their company. And all three of them said they're getting more clients and they're losing more money right now. And it's because the cost of everything has just like
Yeah,
quadrupled. And
yeah,
it's almost suffocating and it's very depressing on that. So we work together, we find out ways to promote economically and get people in there. And with like what you were saying a while ago, the tactile, that's good. The newspaper, people are looking online more. Well, Welcome Partner has a free weekday community news e-blast, and it's like a newspaper. It's a little bit lengthy, but what do you do with the paper? Well, you turn the pages. Okay, so just tab down, and find topics that you wouldn't know that you knew, things that you can share with people around the office and all that kind of thing. But also, it's an interesting way to be able to promote your business, tell people who you are and what you do and how you can help them. We need that one-on-one, especially coming out of the COVID thing, because we're all secluded. I
Yeah.
wasn't, but we kept going, and I never got down at all. I mean, our work progressed. We survived nicely. We didn't thrive, but we survived nicely.
Well,
You
what?
need you need to
Yeah.
be people who can help.
You don't want to walk alone. And
Yeah.
um, I'm excited. I'm excited about some things that we'll talk about even after we do this, DJ, because things are ebbing and flowing. I've been doing this marketing since '83, and I've always been ahead of the game. It's the grace of God, but I've always been ahead of the game. And there's a famous hockey player, Wayne Gretzky, the master of the pass. And I'll never forget a statement that he said. Someone said, "Man, how are you the master of the pass?" And he said, "I don't go to where the puck is. I go to where it's going to be."
That's right.
Well,
I need
I take that to heart.
more. Yeah.
And so, for 3 decades, I have done that. I've been ahead of the game. I've had a sense of where things are going. And then, of course, when I got into journalism and I got into associations with different leaders in government and such, most people don't know that inflation is because of overregulation, and that happens very predictably with different people. But overregulation is what causes inflation. Why the overregulation? It's because a lot of pockets are being lined with overregulation. And so during times like that, you got to come together.
Mhm.
And what I mean? So there are people who may pull from their advertising budget. They're saving money. Now they're doing worse than before. Why? Well, Sears Roebuck, knew that during the Great Depression, even then, you had Sears increase their advertising, and they became the one and all source for everything. They increased their advertising during the Great Depression and prospered when others failed, because they knew that you can't cut off your head, to lessen the load. You got to function.
That's one I hadn't thought about before, but
How about that? You got to function.
Coca-Cola years ago was number one. They were the only show. And
Yeah.
so they thought, well, why are we spending money on advertising? We've got the only product out there. Well, guess what? Other people were creating stuff in their labs and
Right.
they were coming out. And so Coca-Cola dropped their advertising. Then you had 7 Up, you had Dr. Pepper, all these others coming out. And so Coca-Cola had to quadruple what they've been spending to just catch up with where they
Right.
were, because people forget. And I had a client one time that called it the peekaboo theory, because peekaboo, I see you, and then I don't see you, then I forget about you.
Yeah.
And you have to be consistent out there. And uh, Bill Hayes, old William Bill Hayes, he's one of my mentors that's up there in heaven too. But he always said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So, strategize, use it. And so with a welcome partner, if we didn't advertise, we'd be hypocrites, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So we do direct mail, we do digital, we do TV, we do radio, and we do billboards. And so even though maybe somebody hadn't heard us on radio, okay, well then they saw our billboard. If they didn't see the billboard, then they get the direct mail, or they talk to somebody and say, "Hey, you're new. Did you get a welcome partner packet? What's
Right.
that?" And they
Right.
call us. And so and it's I've been in business on this since 1981, and it has changed drastically.
You know, we want to see people blessed. People help people who help people. DJ, your good soil with Welcome Partner. Your networking breakfast is the best, most effective one I've ever seen of through the years, since the '80s. and that's including Dallas and Tulsa and Oklahoma City, West Texas, you name it. There's not a better networking breakfast than Welcome Partner, and you get to love on people. It's a family, and it's just wonderful. And it happens usually the last Friday of the month, at Red River Steakhouse right there on 45th Street. And it's the most effective for a lot of reasons. And people really do get business from those networking breakfasts, DJ. So if someone says, "Hey, that sounds good to me," sign me up. How do you get started? How do you get in on that networking breakfast? That alone is worth being a part of Welcome Partner. How do you do it?
Give me a call. Let's find out what you do, what you've done, what you're doing in your marketing, all that kind of thing. See if we're a fit.
Yeah.
And usually I'll let you come at least one time without being a sponsor of ours. First responders are members automatically,
Right.
and they come when they're honoring their peers. And this month we're having the breakfast earlier because of the holiday, Labor Day. And so our breakfast will be next Friday, the 23rd.
They can just call you to get
Yeah.
involved and make contact. And what do you need to do to be able to do these regularly? Not just a visitor, but to get in on that. What's the investment there?
Well, it depends on what you're going to do. Every client that we represent, they have their own plan.
Right.
And we've got one client that's been with us since 1981.